Hey everybody, it's time for another permaculture zone walk at Grumpy Acres. Remember last time we did permaculture zone 1. We walked around and showed you the elements that we've got in there and talked about some of the things we were going to do in the future. This time we're going to talk about permaculture zone 2. Now, the key feature in permaculture zone 2 is you've got the same elements that you had in zone 1, essentially, but you don't visit them as often. And remember, it takes more energy and time to go pull resources the further away from zone 0 you get. So zone 2, we're still able to pull lots of resources off. It doesn't take as much effort to get out there and harvest it. So let's take a walk around the property right quick and take a look. It's getting dark. Hopefully we can get it done before it gets too dark. It's free to see. So here we are. We're off the west side of the driveway, and you see we've got this big open area. Right now there's a trailer in it. So this area right here is going to be turned into a parking area. Then we're going to separate it. In this area over here, we're going to turn into garden space with raised beds and beds that are in ground. And the reason why this is zone 2, even though you can tell we're still pretty close up to the house. Well, there's the outbuilding. There's a house over there. We're still pretty close up to the house. The reason why it's zone 2 is because we're going to plant plants out here that don't need as much care and energy put into them. Don't know off the top of my head. I can't tell you exactly what that is because I haven't developed the gardens out here yet. But one thing we are going to utilize as part of our farming system, our gardening system, is all this bamboo. So I'm going to be able to cut that bamboo down, and when it starts sprouting, when it's 6 to 8 inches tall, we can harvest it. And that takes be able to harvest that about once a week, once every week and a half. So as you can see, we don't have to come out here and monitor it that often, but we'll be able to get a good crop out of it. And if I can, I'm not eating stuff like that right now, but still it'll be nice if we can find a market for it. Young bamboo shoots are really delicious. You can eat them raw, but a lot of people put them in a wok and saute them. Okay, so we're going to cross the driveway, and we're going into the front yard. Now, again, this is really close to the house. This is no more than 20-30 yards away from the house. We don't utilize this space. The only thing I utilize this space for right now is I mow it about once every 2 weeks, and I pull the grass with the mower, or not the mower, but the brush thing that we've got, and I feed it to the animals. So I'm using the grass in this area as fodder for the animals. And as you can see, we just had some wind come through. I can also harvest a little bit of firewood. This great big tree right here is going to get trimmed up a lot and turned into firewood. So there's the 2 places on the front of the house where it's zone 2. And again, I'm walking through zone 1 here. I'm getting over by the fire pit. I'm on the front of the house. There, as you can see, see that big wood panel? That's where the old garage door used to be. I'm still trying to get that video together for you guys, but it's pretty cool. So, but you can see how close your zone 1 and zone 2 are to the house. Now we're coming across the driveway. This is, again, the driveway is in zone 1, and we're going past the garden. It's looking a little bit decrepit right in the middle of winter right now. Well, I guess it's not winter yet, is it? It's still technically fall. Maybe it is. I don't know. I got to go look up when winter starts. But we get over here, and we're coming up by the orchards. So you see all the trees. We've got the peach tree right here, and we got the apple trees that were existing on the property when we started, and the 2 great big pear trees. And then we've got all these trees that we planted last fall, or not last fall, a year ago, and they look pretty bad right now. But we're getting over here. This is our zone 2 as well, because we don't have to spend a lot of time with the fruit trees, and we've got the blackberry patch over here. Once I get that rehabbed, we'll start getting fruit from that. and we'll be able to utilize this stuff, but we don't have to come out here every single day. Now, there are times that we do come out here every single day, like when I was treating the apple trees back here for the Japanese beetle infestation. Yeah, I had to come out here and do that every day for about 3 days. But we really don't have to unless we're treating them like that, or we've got harvest going on, you know, because these pear trees right here, they fruited for about 3 weeks, and a lot of it went to waste because we just didn't have enough time to get out here this year. I mean, we're still learning how to do them, and there was just a bountiful harvest on them. Oh, look at that sunset! Isn't it beautiful? Then we walk over here, and this area right here, right now it's a junk pile. This area out here is going to be a pasture, and the animals will be out here rotating through here. Actually, there's 2 paddocks out here. It's big enough for 2 paddocks once I get all this trash out. But the animals will be rotating out here about every 4 or 5 days into each one of these paddocks. And I've got, you know, it's still not that much space. I'm still gonna have to supplement them with hay and feed. But during the summertime, I'll be able to get a lot more food into them naturally by letting them graze all this area once we get all this trash picked up. You know, and the way it looks now, my gosh, you think it looks bad now. Look at that. Look at over my shoulder. Look at all that stuff. Look at that. Look at that truck right there. As bad as this paddock looks right now, or this pasture looks right now, it was 10 times worse. There was so much junk out here when we got in here. This is where I pulled about 200 tires off this little area right over here behind those bushes. But anyway, the paddocks are going to be zone 2 for us because we're out here at least once a week, sometimes twice a week out here, you know, when we're moving fences or we're taking care of the animals. And I'm going to have to rehab that paddock really bad because they just completely overgrazed it. But that's about it for the tour of our zone 2. Our zone 2 really isn't that big. Oh, hang on, you know what? We're not done with the zone 2 tour. So we got to walk all the way back over on the other side of the orchard. You know, the thing you got to remember about permaculture, you know, it's an ongoing thing, and it changes constantly. You're constantly observing, and you're constantly making adjustments. You know, we look at a problem and we find a solution, we apply the solution, and then we look at the problem again, and then we re-establish a solution on it, whether we need to use the same solution or we need a new solution. But that's the way we do it, and that's how we mitigate these problems. So we're always evaluating, we're always observing in permaculture, and making it a decision on what we need to do. So this area over here, right now, it's our wood splitting area. And the reason it's over here is because I'm going to put a couple of beds in here, and I'm using the wood chips and everything to get some more nutrients back into the earth. And I'm going to do some technically they're hugelkultur mounds, but I like call them woody mounds because they're not as big. Hugelkultur mounds in my book are like 5-6 feet tall, and they're like what you see in Europe and Scandinavia region, Germany and all that. Oh, look at that, it's getting dark. It's getting hard to see me. But this area right here, we're going to put woody mounds here, and honestly at this point I don't know what plants are going to go in there. I'm thinking some tomato plants. Put some tomato plants in there because that way I don't have to take care of them that much. And we're going to see if we can't work with Buffalo Creek Seed Company to do some of their experimental seeds and see how those do. We saw how being tagged did with them and how well they did. It just really did well, and we really like the whole idea of having seeds and crops that are geared for our area. Okay, this is zone 2. This is a zone 2 as well. This big lane right here, and the reason why it's zone 2, we're going to walk down here and check it out. But it's butted right up against zone 3. You can actually see the zone 3 actually starts right here where the grass isn't mowed. The reason why that's zone 3 is because we've got all these walnut trees. And these walnut trees, so instead of being zone 4, where we let things go, this is zone 3 because we're out here and we're going to be harvesting and collecting food from here. All right? So you got a preview. There's your little preview of zone 3 and how it borders on zone 2. So the reason why this little lane that we're on is zone 2 is right down here. So let's see if we can't get closer. So this is my rifle range. You know, if you've been around the channel or been around me for a little while, you know that I'm an avid fan of the shooting sports. And it's killing me that I haven't been able to shoot that much recently. It's just too expensive and I don't have time, you know. So I built this range while we were here. I took that, remember all those tires I told you I pulled off the property? Well, I didn't really pull them off the property. They are in this wall. This wall is 35 feet long, and before it settled down, it was about 7.5 feet tall. Now it's only about 6.5 feet tall. But that's the backstop to my rifle range. So this is zone 2, and this is an entertainment area. This is strictly an entertainment area. I do it for fun. You know, I'm out here and I'm practicing and shooting recreationally as much as I can. And it butts right up against, again, this is zone 2 right here. This area right here. I'm out here mowing. Oh gosh, I think I broke it up into 4 sections. So about every week I can mow and get about maybe about 6 bushels, 7 bushels of fresh grass out here every week. Once I start the rotation, I can get that. You know, but it's right up against, see these cages, these are fruit and nut trees that we put in. And the reason the cages are on them is because the deer like traveling right up this fence line, right? They walk right here on the edge of the grass where zone 3 starts. And so we've got the trees protected, unlike at the old place. And they're not all protected. You can see, I don't know if it may be too dark for you to see, but there's pink flags out where we planted trees. The ladies did that when we did the work day for the chicken coop build. But so as you can see, the zone 2, I'm going to flip this around, and it's probably kind of hard to see, but all the way over there where the bobcat and the house and everything is, that's zone 0 and zone 1, and this zone 2 is all the way over here. So as you can see, your zones can take any form that you want, any way that you utilize the property. You build it out, and you can have, so I've got this little path. Everything, all my paths are torn up because I was using the skid loader this weekend moving. It took about 8 loads of junk out of the back of the where the pantry's going in. You know, so we've got this little lane that I keep mowed on a regular basis. I let all that out there go, and every time I mow, I mow down this lane. But I've got chunks down there where I'm just mowing big wide strips and collecting all the grass and stuff, taking it over and feeding it to the animals as fodder. And then this area, you can see we're using this for trailer parking, and there's some storage out here. I put all this stuff in here not thinking about the bamboo, and it overgrew all my stuff. You really can't see what all's in there. But we're gonna figure out how to knock this stuff back and reclaim this area over here. I think there's my flammable shed is gonna go over in this area, and I'm gonna build, I think I'm gonna build a lean-to or something over here so I can store equipment out of the rain and the snow. That's one thing that's really bothering me, is everything's sitting outside right now, and I can't keep it from getting rained on or snowed on. That's just so hard on the stuff. Well, we're back over by the house, and looks like Yoda got home with some lumber for the pantry project. That's the tour of our zone 2. Now, I want you to think about your zone 2. I want you to tell me in the comments down below. I want you to share with everybody what your zone 2 looks like and what you're using it for. And the reason why I'm asking you to put the comment down below is, number one, I want the interaction with everybody. Number two, I want you thinking about the way you're utilizing your spaces on your property and what elements that you're putting in there. So our elements in our zone 2 right now is all food production. Oh, shine that light across my shoulder. That's one of those Chinese lights I need to do a video on to tell you guys about it. But we're using our zone 2 for food production for us and for the animals, and you know, we're not really doing much anything else. Once I put those woody mounds in, the wood splitting area is going to move again someplace else. So there it is. There's zone 2. Think about how you use yours. Share with us if you got any ideas for what we can do here at Grumpy Acres. Go ahead and let us know. I mean, it's like a blank slate out here, and we're trying to fill it up, and there's just so many opportunities and possibilities that sometimes it's a little overwhelming, and it's hard to think about it. It's hard to think in a good manner. And one of the things about permaculture is the more eyes you get on it, and the more people you got looking at it, the more great ideas you get, right? Okay, so I want you guys to take care. Go ahead, share this with somebody that might enjoy it. Hit that notification bell so you know when the next permaculture zone video goes out, because it's going to be zone 3, and our zone 3 is kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting, so I think you guys will like it. Most importantly, I want you guys to go out today and live a life done free. Thanks, Milo.